Now to sports, and it's a huge day in Morocco with the streets of Tangier full of Senegalese and Egyptian fans as the two teams face off in the first semi-final of the Africa Cup of Nations. Egypt are the continent's most successful side. They're looking to win an eighth Africa Cup of Nations title. Mo Salah, the team star player, has been on the back end of two losses in finals back in 2017 and 2022, the latter of which was against his great former Liverpool teammate Sadio Mane and Senegal. And of course, in the other absolutely huge semi-final in Rabat, hosts Morocco face the Super Eagles of Nigeria. For Morocco, this is their first AFCON semi-final in 22 years. It's been 50 years of pain since they won their solitary 1976 title at the Africa Cup of Nations. By contrast, the Super Eagles, of course, runners-up in 2023, and this one has been a brilliant tournament for them, and it would not be an exaggeration to say that they are by far and away the best team in this year's competition. And for a preview of those hotly anticipated semi-finals, I'm joined now on the line from Rabat by Arise Sports anchor and correspondent Ebi Iyoma. Now, great to see you, Ebi. So 2 games featuring the continent's best side, Senegal versus Egypt, and of course Nigeria versus Morocco. You could say West Africa versus North Africa. And it is fair to say that for the Super Eagles, this has been a brilliant tournament so far. I mean, they've played with such great precision, haven't they? How do you see their game against Morocco going?
Oh, it's always nice to have a chat with you, Charles. It's already buzzing. Like you said rightfully, Nigeria is having a very splendid tournament. Going into this tournament, nobody thought they would give their all or even perform as good as this, especially with the sad result of the World Cup qualifiers. But coming in, they are rightfully, if you said they are the best team of this tournament, it's very possible because they scored 14 goals in this tournament, by far the most by any team, considering just 4. What matters the most is how progressive the team has become in this tournament. They'll be facing the host, which is a very big game. They're going to be facing a stadium that has 8,000 capacity, and sure the Moroccans will fill that stadium up. But Nigeria has against 2 North African countries already and beating them with their multiple fans. So the odds may be against them, but it seems their motivation is quite high.
I mean, is it fair to say, Ebi, that though Morocco is the top-ranked team in Africa, they are not the favourite going into this one, or is it fairly even? And I'm sorry if you repeat yourself, but I missed some of what you said there.
Well, it's fairly even though, but I think Nigeria still has the edge because Morocco has star players. In fact, for this match tonight, 3 African best players, past or present, will be playing. That's 2 from Nigeria, Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen, and Akat Hakimi, the reigning champion. That's in reigning African best. But there are so many other good players from both sides. But I think Nigeria has a slight advantage. That's for player. Well, what may put Morocco ahead of Nigeria is the fact that they are the hosts, playing in at home with the fan advantage. But Nigeria seem to have been able to soak that up and maybe blot out the noise, according to what the coach and Alexander Iwobi said yesterday at the press conference.
And you mentioned Osimhen there in form. I mean, he is, of course, a one-man team. What an incredible player he is, and what a striker. And he could carry the Super Eagles all the way, couldn't he? And with him out front, Morocco has to have a lot of pressing and tempo and aggression to deal with Nigeria. And it's instructive, Ebi, to remember that just a couple of months ago, Nigeria failed to qualify for the World Cup. What a way to bounce back.
They are doing extremely well. Victor Osimhen is doing very well with all the goals he scored and the kind of play he's doing. But I would also say that what has put Nigeria above is the fact that they are not now just a one-man team as it used to be with Victor Osimhen. But now you see a player like Alexander Iwobi playing progressively, moving the ball forward. He has the most pre-assists in this tournament. There's also Aqua Adams, who's been fantastic. You can't forget Frank Oyeka, even the captain who is injured for this game. He's doing really well, and he has defense, very solid defense. So I would say the whole team have put in their best. There's really no powering of the team at the moment because you can really pick one player as the best player of this team. But Victor Osimhen's impact can never be undermined alongside Ademola Lookman, who has the most goal and assists in this tournament.
Well, I think you're absolutely right there. And of course, the other semi-final game that is happening is in Tangier, and it's Senegal against Egypt. I mean, they've got the two leading men in both teams, Sadio Mane and Mo Salah. How thrilling a game do you expect it to be? It's probably already started, actually.
Yes, I think they're in halftime at the moment. And when it comes to Senegal and Egypt, it's always a massive game. We can recall that at the AFCON final in Cameroon, Senegal defeated Egypt to win the title. That's their first title. And Senegal also stopped Egypt from progressing from qualifying for the 2022 World Cup. So this game is mainly Mohamed Salah and his teammates trying to prove a point to win the AFCON. This will be Mo Salah's first AFCON should he win it, and his third AFCON final. Hopefully he does it. But for Sadio Mane, he's done so well with the Senegalese team, and they have a new crop of players, young players like Ndiaye, who's been leading them. There's Idrissa Gueye, who's doing very well in that midfield. So I think that this game is a very big game. Senegal versus Egypt game has always been a big game. And if you're watching it currently, you see that Koulibaly, that's the captain, the big name there, is out injured, and he already got a yellow card before that injury. It's sad opening 20 minutes for him, but what a match Egypt and Senegal is always.
And it's interesting, Ebby, that all four of these teams have African coaches, and with the quality of their game really improving, I mean, it's great to see that they've all got coaches from the continent. And that's a big plus for coaches from Africa, isn't it?
A really big plus. At this tournament, it seemed that the big teams did not want to take it lightly with the smaller teams because there was no upset in this tournament at all, up till the semifinals. Only big teams qualifying for the semifinals, and at this point, there can really not be any upset because all four teams in the semifinals are really big teams. So it just shows the level of play in Africa. The small teams were left by the side in this tournament. So these big teams have really, really put in their all, and they are really fighting for that trophy.
But I wonder what your thoughts are as we round up, Ebby, on the fact that this is a tournament that's now going to be held every 4 years instead of 2. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, I say that it may be a big loss for African football because bringing the whole of Africa together every 2 years has always brought about spectacle, football festivities, and just seeing players unite every 2 years. Now, it being 4 years means that you have to wait 4 years for every player to converge once more. So if a player is 26 playing his first African Cup of Nations, at the next one will be 30 years. So it's just a longer time to see more stars in Africa emerge. It went through a lot of deliberations, especially with the consistent cries from the European clubs about how African Cup of Nations disrupt their season, and the CAF finally gave into it. But I would say that it's going to be a big miss for a lot of African fans, knowing that they will have to wait every 4 years for the African Cup of Nations.
Indeed. Well, let's get through tonight, which is a very big night, as we've said. And thank you for the view, by the way, because we can see that your car is actually moving. So we're getting a peripheral glimpse of what Rabat looks like. Thank you very much indeed, Ebby. And I'm sure we will be in contact with you again as these games progress. Ebby Iyoman is a Rise Sports anchor and correspondent. She was talking to me on the line from Rabat there.